Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm Dr. Zara Noreen, your course instructor of Plant Physiology 1, BOTN 3119. In the previous lecture, we talked about absorption and action spectra and antenna complexes. Now we will talk about the term quantum yield and red drop and Emerson enhancement effect, and with the discovery of two photosystems. The graph we learned about in the previous lecture, also which shows the evolution of oxygen with respect to flashes of light, also permits us to calculate another important parameter of the light reactions of photosynthesis, the quantum yield. The quantum yield is represented by phi, sin phi, and it is defined as number of photochemical products over total number of quanta absorbed. मीन्स एक केमिकल रिएक्शन के टेक्स प्लेस होने से जो प्रोडक्ट हमें हासिल होती है, जैसा कि फोटोसिंथेसिस जो कि फोटोकेमिकल रिएक्शंस जिसमें इन्वॉल्व होते हैं, और उसमें ऑक्सीजन जो उसका है उसका प्रोडक्ट है, उस प्रोडक्ट को प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए उसके कितने नंबर को प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए कितनी टोटल क्वांटा ऑफ एनर्जी जो है वो अब्जॉर्ब होते हैं या यूटिलाइज होते हैं. We already have explained this graph with respect to antenna complexes and involvement of other pigments as antenna to reaction center. In this lecture, we will explain it again, emphasizing on quantum yield, means the production of oxygen with respect to number of quanta evolved during the process. And you can see here at high intensity of flashes of light, no more production of oxygen, even the number of quanta are same because of the saturation of the in the linear portion of the curve. An increase in the number of the photon stimulates a proportional increase in oxygen evolution. Thus, the slope of the curve measures the quantum yield for oxygen production. The quantum yield for a particular process can ranges from 0 if that process does not respond to light, to 1 to maximum. 1 is the maximum value if every photon which is absorbed contributes to the process. In functional chloroplast kept in dim light, the quantum yield of photochemistry is about approximately 0.95, that is near to 1. The quantum yield of fluorescence is about 0.05 or maybe lower than that, and the quantum yield of other processes are negligible. The vast majority of the excited chlorophyll molecules therefore lead to the photochemistry, means they are engaged in the production of oxygen. The chemical reaction of photosynthesis is driven by light. It is important to realize that equilibrium for the chemical reaction shown in the equation below lies very far in the direction of the reactants. The equilibrium constant for equation, calculated from tabulated free energies of the formation for each of the compound involved, is about 10 raised to power minus 500. And this number is so close to 0, means about it is 0, that one can be quite confident that in the entire history of the universe, there is no molecule of glucose has formed spontaneously from carbon dioxide and water without external energy being provided. The energy needed to drive the photosynthetic reaction comes from light. Here a simpler form of equation is given where the CH2O is 1/6 of the glucose molecule, and about 9 or 10 of the photon are required to drive the reaction of this equation. Although the photochemical quantum yield under optimum condition is nearly 100%, the efficiency of the conversion of light into chemical energy is much less. So if red light is provided of wavelength 680 nanometer, the total energy input will be 1760 kilojoule per mole of oxygen formed. This amount of energy is more than enough to drive the reaction in the equation, which has the standard state for energy change of plus 467 kilojoule per mole. The efficiency of conversion of the light energy at the optimal wavelength into chemical energy is therefore about 467 को अगर हम डिवाइड करते हैं टोटल इनपुट ऑफ एनर्जी 1760, so we will get the value 27 and then multiplied it with the 100, we will get its percentage 27%, which is remarkably high for an energy conversion system. Most of this stored energy is used to cellular maintenance processes. The amount diverted to the formation of biomass is much less. There is no conflict between the fact that the photochemical quantum efficiency means the quantum yield is 100% or 1 and the energy conversion efficiency is 27%. मीन्स जो टोटल इन्वॉल्वमेंट है मॉलिक्यूल्स की फोटोकेमिस्ट्री में वो मैक्सिमम है, लेकिन जो कन्वर्जन है लाइट एनर्जी की कन्वर्जन है टू द केमिकल फॉर्म ऑफ एनर्जी वो सिर्फ 27% है. ऑल्दो ये 27% भी किसी भी एनर्जी कन्वर्जन सिस्टम में एक बहुत ही हाई वैल्यू है, ये कम नहीं है. लेकिन इन दो चीज़ों को अलग से अंडरस्टैंड करने की ज़रूरत है कि जो एंगेजमेंट है डिफरेंट मॉलिक्यूल्स की एनर्जी ट्रांसफ़र में वो मैक्सिमम है, यानी 100% है. वो अपना काम पूरी एफिशिएंसी के साथ कर रहे हैं, लेकिन जो टोटल अमाउंट ऑफ एनर्जी जो स्टोर हो रही है एज केमिकल फॉर्म ऑफ एनर्जी दैट इज अबाउट ओनली 27% इन केस ऑफ फोटोसिंथेसिस. अगर हम रेड लाइट की बात करते हैं, the quantum efficiency is a measure of the fraction of the absorbed photon that engage in photochemistry, and the energy efficiency is a measure of the how much energy in the absorbed photon is stored as a chemical product. So the number indicates that almost all the absorbed photon engage in the photochemistry, but only about one fourth of the energy in each photon is stored, and the remainder being converted into heat. So here is the again the quantum efficiency versus energy efficiency. There is no conflict that photochemical quantum efficiency is 100%, energy conversion efficiency is 27%. As I told you that quantum efficiency is a measure of the fraction of absorbed photon that engage in the photochemistry, तो वो 100% है. बट जब हम बात करते हैं कि क्या इन फोटोन के फोटोकेमिस्ट्री में एंगेज होने के बाद how much energy is actually converted into the stored format of an energy. So this is energy efficiency, and that is the measure of the how much energy absorbed in photon is stored as chemical product. तो वो 27% है. Oxygen evolving organisms have two photosystems that operate in series. हम शुरू से ही नहीं जानते थे कि फोटो सिस्टम्स जो हैं वो दो तरह के फोटो सिस्टम्स हैं जो कि एक दूसरे के साथ टेंडमली वर्क करते हैं और एक दूसरे के साथ मिल के जो है प्रोडक्शन ऑफ ऑक्सीजन का बायस है और एटीपी एंड एनएडीपीएच बनाने का बायस है. सो इसके लिए किस तरीके से ये डिस्कवर हुए, किस तरीके से इनकी डिस्कवरी हुई, कैसे हमें पता चला कि एक्चुअली वन फोटो सिस्टम नहीं बल्कि टू फोटो सिस्टम्स आर इन्वॉल्व. तो इसी के साथ ही हमारी जो आउटलाइन का हमारा फोकस है आज के लेक्चर का कि रेड ड्रॉप क्या होता है और एमर्सन एनहांसमेंट इफेक्ट क्या होता है. एक्चुअली ये दोनों ही जब आप समझेंगे तो आपको पता चलेगा कि दिस विल lead to the discovery of two photosystems that operates in series during oxygen evolution. By the late 1950s, several experiments were puzzled the scientists who studied photosynthesis. One of these experiments, carried out by Emerson, measured the quantum yield of photosynthesis as a function of wavelength and revealed an effect known as red drop. If the quantum yield is measured for the wavelength at which chlorophyll absorbed light, the value found throughout most of the range are fairly constant, indicating that any photon absorbed by chlorophyll or other pigment is as effective as other photon in driving photosynthesis. However, the yield drops dramatically in the far red region of the chlorophyll absorption. Means if light of more greater than 680 nanometer is given, the yield drops dramatically. This drop cannot be caused by a decrease in the chlorophyll absorption because the quantum yield measures only the light that has actually been absorbed. Thus, light with a wavelength greater than 680 nanometer is much less efficient than light of the shorter wavelength means of red light. Another puzzling experiment's results were the enhancement effect, also discovered by the same scientist Emerson. He measured that the rate of the photosynthesis separately with light of two different wavelengths and then used the two beams simultaneously. And when red and infrared light were given together, the rate of photosynthesis was greater than the sum of the individual rates. And this was a startling and surprising observation leading to the discovery of two. In this slide, red drop effect is shown. जैसे कि मैंने आपको पिछली स्लाइड में बताया है कि एमरसन ने रेड ड्रॉप इफेक्ट को फर्स्ट टाइम जो है वो ऑब्जर्व किया। यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं ग्राफ में कि जो ब्लैक लाइन का कर्व है दिस इज रिप्रेजेंटेटिंग क्वांटम यील्ड, और रेड लाइट की जो कर्व है ये रेड कलर की जो कर्व है ये अब्जॉर्प्शन स्पेक्ट्रम को शो कर रही है। अब आप देख सकते हैं कि अब्जॉर्प्शन स्पेक्ट्रम तो दोनों में ही हिस्सों में पीक्स दोनों में ही मौजूद हैं, रेड रीजन में भी मौजूद है और ब्लू रीजन में भी मौजूद है। बट क्वांटम यील्ड को जब हम देखते हैं तो वो फार रेड रीजन में ड्रास्टिकली ड्रॉप कर जाती है, मींस द फार रेड रीजन इज इनएफिशिएंट इन क्वांटम यील्ड, या आप यूँ कह लें कि उसकी एनर्जी इतनी ज़्यादा नहीं है कि जो मैक्सिमम जो पिगमेंट्स के मॉलिक्यूल्स हैं उनको इंगेज रख सके इन द फोटोकेमिस्ट्री। सो far red all alone cannot contribute much to the photosynthesis. So this is known as red drop. In this slide, the Emerson enhancement effect is shown, means the rate of photosynthesis when red and far-red light are given together is greater than the sum of the rates when given separately. इस डायग्राम में आप देख सकते हैं कि जब फॉर-रेड लाइट दी जाती है तो द रेट ऑफ रिलेटिव रेट ऑफ फोटोसिंथेसिस है वो इंक्रीज करता है, लेकिन जैसे ही उसको ऑफ किया जाता है तो वो फिर डिक्रीज कर दिए हो जाती है। एंड देन अगर रेड लाइट दी जाए तो भी रेट ऑफ फोटोसिंथेसिस जो है वो इंक्रीज करता है, लेकिन आप देख सकते हैं कि दोनों की जो इंक्रीजमेंट का जो रेट है वो बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है। अब तीसरे केस में आप देखें कि जब दोनों को मिला के यानी कि रेड एंड फारेड दोनों लाइट को दिया गया है सिस्टम को, तो उस टाइम पे जो रेट ऑफ फोटोसिंथेसिस है उसका जो ग्राफ है दैट इज मच हायर देन द सेपरेट ग्राफ्स ऑफ फारेड लाइट एंड रेड लाइट। So this is known as Emerson enhancement effect, and this support the concept that photosynthesis is carried out by two photochemical systems which are working in tandem but with slightly different wavelength optima. और अब हम ये जानते हैं कि देर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ फोटो सिस्टम्स। एक जो है फोटो सिस्टम 1 जो कहलाता है वो 700 नैनोमीटर की लाइट को, जो कि फार रेड रीजन की लाइट कहलाती है, उसको अब्सॉर्ब करता है, और दूसरा जो है फोटो सिस्टम 2 जिसको हम कहते हैं वो 680 नैनोमीटर की या अबाउट रेड रीजन की जो लाइट है उसको अब्सॉर्ब करता है। और आप ये भी जानते हैं कि ये दोनों ही आपस में मिल के काम करते हैं फॉर द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ एटीपी एंड फॉर द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ NADPH. These observations were eventually explained by experiments performed in the 1960s that led to the discovery that two photochemical complexes known as photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 operate in series to carry out the early energy storage reactions of photosynthesis. Photosystem 1 की अगर हम बात करते हैं तो this preferentially absorb forward light of wavelength greater than 680 nanometer, और photosystem 2 जो है this preferentially absorb red light of 680 nanometer or the and is driven very poorly by forward light. So this wavelength dependence of photosystem 1 and 2 explains that why red drop effect is why the red drop effect is and why the enhancement effect occurs. Another difference between the photosystem is that photosystem 1 जो है is a strong reductant, and that is why it is capable to reduce NADP to NADPH and और इसके साथ साथ वो एक वीक ऑक्सीडेंट भी है, जबकि फोटोसिस्टम 2 इसका बिल्कुल उलट है, वो एक स्ट्रॉन्ग ऑक्सीडेंट है एंड दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कैपेबल ऑफ ऑक्सीडाइजिंग और सप्लिटिंग द मॉलिक्यूल ऑफ वाटर टू प्रोड्यूस इलेक्ट्रॉन एंड हाइड्रोजन आयन, और इसके साथ साथ वो एक वीक रिडक्टेंट है। सो जो कुछ भी रिडक्टेंट प्रोड्यूस करेगा फोटोसिस्टम 2 वो री रिड्यूस होंगे बाय द ऑक्सीडेंट प्रोड्यूस बाय फोटोसिस्टम 1। So इस तरीके से ये दोनों मिलके काम करते हैं. So these properties of the two photosystems are shown in the schematically in the following slide. The scheme of the photosynthesis depicted as Z, जो कि zigzag से निकला, Z scheme भी इसको हम कहते हैं, and has become the basis for understanding the oxygen evolving photosynthetic organisms. It also accounts for the operation of the two physically and chemically distinct photosystems, E1 and 2, each with its own antenna pigments and photochemical reaction center. The two photosystems are linked by an electron transport chain, और इसी को हम फिर हम कहते हैं कि this is the basis of photophosphorilation, यानी कि जो लाइट की प्रेजेंस में ATP की प्रोडक्शन होती है, that is because of this ETC इलेक्ट्रॉन ट्रांसपोर्ट चेन, जो कि लाइट की वजह से ड्रिवन होती है. Here you can see the Z scheme of photosynthesis, in which the two photosystems they have their complementary roles and they are dependent on each other. And the Z scheme photosynthesis is showing the red light absorbed by photosystem 2 produces a strong oxidant and a weak reductant, and far red light absorbed by the photosystem 1 produces a weak oxidant and a strong reductant. The strong oxidant generated by PS2 oxidizes the water molecule and split it into oxygen and hydrogen ion. And this is the oxygen which is evolved during the photosynthesis, while the strong reductant produced by the PS1 is utilized for the reduction of NADP to NADPH. So this scheme is basic to understanding the photosynthetic electron transport, and these refer P680 and P700 refer to the wavelength of the maximum absorption of these two photosystems. Reference books are given here to further enhance your understanding of the subject and especially the topic. This is all about today's lecture. If you have any question or query, you can ask on Google Classroom, WhatsApp group, or you can email me.